From an Olympic pool in Turkey that was rocked by a powerful earthquake, and a rooftop hangout in Mexico City that spilled water on the streets below, to a 6.1 magnitude earthquake that struck near a popular children's water park, and an earthquake in the Philippines that sent pool water flying off this skyscraper. Here are earthquakes versus pools caught on camera. Mexico City is the cultural center of Mexico and the most populated city in North America. Fun fact, while the rest of the world has always called it Mexico City, it didn't become the official name until 2016. Until then, Mexicans simply called it the Federal District, or DF. On September 19th of 2022, a 7.6 magnitude earthquake struck off the coast of western Mexico. Those on the ground in the capital felt the earth shaking beneath them. Those in the rooftop swimming pools felt an entirely different sensation.
Ay, güey. Ay, ¿qué está pasando?
We assume the penthouse didn't classify their rooftop pool as a wave pool when these people checked in. If the earthquake was that powerful at the top of a high-rise, imagine how it must have felt to those on the first floor. Now, a similar scene occurred in the Philippines, where a 6.4 magnitude earthquake caused pool water to cascade over the roof and drench people in the street. Even though the epicenter was 37 miles away, it was still strong enough to make buildings sway like trees in the wind. Earthquakes and pools clearly don't go together. Once the water starts rocking, there's really no stopping it. Now, according to reports, this pool was atop the Anchor Sky Suites in Manila, the capital and most populated city in the Philippines. On April 25th of 2015, a powerful 7.8 magnitude earthquake struck east of the Gorkha district in central Nepal. The epicenter was about 53 miles northwest of the Nepali capital of Kathmandu. It was also the worst natural disaster to strike the region since the Nepal-Bihar earthquake in 1934. Before the quake, a local Kathmandu family was preparing to enjoy their day by the pool. Then, right around noon, the earthquake struck, sending everyone into a panic. A man strolls by as everything seems calm and cozy at home. Then, the flowers begin shaking. Two people run outside moments before all hell breaks loose. The water in the pool spins in a violent clockwise circle, but keep your eye on the fence behind it. Out of nowhere, their neighbor crashes through the fence like the Kool-Aid Man and falls into the whirlpool. He takes a massive wave to the face before stumbling out and running across the yard. By the time it calms down, half the pool is empty and the yard is totally flooded. Elsewhere in Nepal, some local kids were playing in the public pool when the earthquake struck. Now, all seems fine until the earthquake strikes without warning. You can tell nobody had a clue it was coming. Some swimmers get out while two boys get caught in the waves. The scary part is how large and random the waves are. Luckily, the pool was shallow enough for them to keep their footing. As long as you're in an outdoor pool and away from buildings, you should be relatively safe during an earthquake. Still, it's not the best place to be, as the waves can easily throw you around. Just look at how close some of these people came to hitting the edge. Now, you can expect plenty of pools in a major metro city like Kathmandu, Nepal. Between apartments, hotels, and people's backyards, everyone loves a good swim. During the April 25th earthquake, locals and tourists gathered at the Summit Hotel, a mountain resort with a Himalayan view. There was a small craft fair going on. Vendors were set up around the pool when the earthquake spoiled their day. The earthquake emptied nearly half the pool by the time it was over. It flooded the patio and sent about a dozen kids crying to their frightened parents. Thankfully, it looked like everyone's supplies and crafts were off the ground, so they didn't get too wet. And since they were all standing out in the open, they were safe from falling debris. One guest who was there during the earthquake said the staff was extremely friendly and accommodating. Nobody slept for about 24 hours while they took care of their guests. Some people even came from neighboring hotels to charge their devices after the electricity went down. Did you know that earthquakes can cause rivers to change course? Vibrations deep beneath the earth can cause cracks to form under the river. This can alter its path of least resistance, causing it to change course permanently. But can they make rivers reverse course? Yes, actually, as demonstrated in this video. We're not too sure where this 2010 earthquake occurred, but it was powerful enough to make this river run in the opposite direction. Keep your eye on the white foam. That wasn't a trick of the eye. Although hard to see, the earthquake caused the river to reverse course. Instead of flowing toward the ocean, it's now flowing toward our camera person. But what is the science behind this phenomenon? Rivers always follow the path of least resistance. They want to get downhill as quickly as possible. When an earthquake strikes, it can create a natural dam that forces the water to flow backward. The ensuing tidal wave eventually floods an area upstream, creating a lake. The river will always revert to its original flow direction. It'll simply find a new way around the dam created by the earthquake. Fun fact, an earthquake in 1812 caused the Mississippi to reverse course for several hours. Mabini is a small coastal city in the Philippines. They're known for their gorgeous snorkeling and diving sites, which attract tourists from all over the world. On April 8th of 2017, a group of divers was swimming about 60 feet below the surface when not one, but two earthquakes struck near Mabini. One was a 5.6 magnitude, while the other was a 6.0. If you were wondering what earthquakes look like underwater, you're about to find out. According to our divers, they were supposed to spend about 20 minutes at a depth of 140 feet. They said it felt like a massive propeller was turning directly above them. They could hear the rocks trembling on the ocean floor and felt the shockwave as it moved through the water. Things got a little scary when the shockwave hurt their ears and it became harder to breathe. Not wanting to risk anything, their dive leader canceled the dive and returned to the surface. Luckily, nobody got hurt during the underwater quake. Manila is the capital and second most populated city in the Philippines. It sits in the southern region of Luzon Island and the banks of Manila Bay. It's home to about 1.8 million people who all experienced a wild earthquake on April 22nd of 2019. Around 5 p.m. local time, the 6.1 magnitude earthquake struck close to the capital city. Many parents had taken their children to a local swimming pool for a fun day in the sun. Little did they know it was about to end in terror.
Puno-puno ng UTI. Nasaan? Uy, lumilindol! Uy, lumilindol! Shucks! Shucks! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Gosh! Ah! Mamos! Gosh! Uy! Tayo na kayo! Oh! JMG! Jacob! Uy! Jake! Ilang! Tang inis! Sabi ko na nga lumilindol! Okay lang kayo? Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Frantic parents pulled their kids from the pool, but instead of moving away, many of them stood and watched the water rock back and forth. As our camera woman hustles through the park, you can see where all the walkways are flooded. People scramble in both directions. Some stay out in the open, while others head for cover. Those who stayed out in the open did the right thing. You always want to move away from structures during an earthquake. Most injuries occurred due to falling debris and collapsing structures. Assuming the ground doesn't open up beneath you, the safest place to be is in the middle of a wide open area. On February 6th of 2023, a pair of powerful earthquakes struck in Turkey and Syria. The first was a 7.8 magnitude tremor that struck west of Gaziantep city in south-central Turkey. The second was a 7.5 magnitude earthquake that struck near Ekinozu, a small city north of Gaziantep. CCTV cameras were rolling inside a swimming facility when the second earthquake struck. They captured the moment when these professional swimming lanes turned into a wild wave pool. The calm water starts trembling as the earthquake ramps up. It's like when the T-Rex walks near a puddle in Jurassic Park. Waves begin flowing back and forth. The red and white divider lines make it easier to see how the water is moving. Eventually, water spills over and floods the area around the pool. Loose objects begin shifting around, and the water does this incredible dance as it moves between all four walls. Outside this building, the earthquakes brought sheer terror to the people of southern Turkey and Syria. About 9.1 million people were affected in some way. 3 million were displaced, and over 298,000 buildings were destroyed. The border city of Mexicali is the capital of Baja California, the northern peninsula state that makes up western Mexico. It's home to about 1 million people who can look across the border and wave at their sister city, Calexico, in southern California. On April 4th of 2010, a 7.2 magnitude earthquake struck the sister cities. It was known as the Easter earthquake, as it struck around 3:40 p.m. on Easter Sunday. Pool cameras at the Crown Plaza Hotel in Mexicali were rolling when the earthquake struck. Luckily, nobody had decided to go swimming that afternoon. The camera begins shaking as the earthquake strikes. You might think someone with shaky hands is holding it, but that's the raw power of Mother Nature. Waves crash over every side of the pool, and water floods the patio area. Then, the camera stops shaking enough to show massive waves going back and forth. The earthquake lasted nearly a minute and a half. People all across northwestern Mexico, southern California, and parts of Arizona felt the shaking. In fact, it was the strongest earthquake to strike near southern Cali in 18 years. If you enjoyed this video and want to see another just like it, be sure to click the link on screen now. With that, thanks for watching, and be sure to tune in next time.